stunning looks than swift.
Oh man, there is an inevitability to India. Their batters just will get runs, their bowlers just will get wickets. They've almost ambled their way to 410, which is India's second highest score in World Cup cricket. It is only the third 400 plus score in this year's World Cup, and it treated the Chinnaswamy crowd on Diwali Day to something slightly different. Not the six fest we've seen when New Zealand and Pakistan played at this ground and posted plenty of runs, but just too easy for India. We look back at a maiden World Cup 100 for Shreyas Iyer and a maiden World Cup 100 in this tournament for Rahul at his home ground after he missed out in comical fashion at the Chepauk, what seems like a lifetime ago. 410 for 4 is where the game stands. This is Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Matchday, powered by Qatar Airways. Matthew Hayden, Anil Kumble. How do we describe that? Just so easy for India, Anil.
Yeah, it has been. All the batters are in great form. So this is a game where you think as a batter that, okay, this is a time for me to cash in. If I get in, then get 100. And that's exactly what the number 4 and number 5 did. Yes, we expected that the 1, 2, 3 would also go on and get big scores, but everyone's got a 50.
Yeah.
And it's a batting lineup which I think now everyone has seen the dominance that this team has had throughout the league phase. They just stamped the authority again at a venue where you know that you'll get boundaries. All you need to do is just spend time there.
Yeah. Well, I'd firstly just like to make an apology to our viewers for a very, very soft
Both of us hate us.
Terrible. I mean, it's Diwali, you know we all like to do on Diwali, and if our insights gave you nothing at all, I deeply apologize.
350 and 360.
360, I mean, well short.
Yeah.
It's disgraceful.
I've asked you before about the great Australian team that you were part of. You, in our pre-show, speak of Rohit Sharma oozing of the almost the aura that Ricky Ponting used to have on the rest of his team. Imagine yourself now in that Indian dressing room. Do you sense it's very close to what your dressing room was? Didn't matter if you got out 50, 60, 1, 2. Next guy will do the job because next guy is just doing the job.
Yeah, and that's right. When you look at the strike rates today, you've got Rohit Sharma 112, Shubman Gill 159, Virat Kohli 91, which is still solid, Shreyas Iyer 136, Rahul 159. See, your selection policy, and we had a go at picking the world best
Cup team,
11
yes.
World Cup team. Look, what we're looking to do is have a combination of just common sense cricket and cricket ability versus impact play and match winning play. And so this World Cup, when you look at the man of matches awarded to members of India's side, it's spread out. And that's exactly what the side of 2-3, 2-7 did. It wasn't just one person having a day out. I mean, the Stars did perform, but it was mostly an example of how it moved from one player to the next. And see, what that does, it's a banker in terms of you look at your bloke beside you in the change room, you go, man, you can win this match yourself. And that's what this side, it just reeks of confidence.
Yep. I like that you bring up that chat we had in the pre-show where you must go back and look at that in case you missed it. We tried to build together the team of the tournament so far, and perhaps the only point where Matthew Hayden and Anil Kumble were debating towards it was whether you want a power hitter like Klaasen coming in at 5 or maybe an all-rounder like Omar Zai. You could throw in a few other names if you'd like.
Rahul, I'll give you another one.
Yes, so as we look at this partnership today, gentlemen, 208 of 128. India's middle order has different gears as well, don't they, Anil? It's the kind of middle order you don't need power, but Rahul's 6 hitting ability, Shreyas' 6 hitting ability, something we've seen. Talk us through perhaps this being perhaps the only middle order that has this kind of versatility and range.
Yeah, and also the ability to adapt to any situation. I mean, we have seen tough pitches or situations that the teams have been in. I mean, Shreyas Iyer did that against South Africa when India had lost those 2 wickets. He and Virat Kohli strung that partnership, and then Rahul and Virat in Chennai put together that partnership where he didn't have to go at that strike rate. But today, the situation demanded. I mean, I think when KL walked in, it was in the 30th over, and he knew that it was just a matter of those the next 20 overs to be like a 20-over format and then just go and bat the way you can. And these two have the ability to hit sixes and proper cricketing shots. I mean, not necessarily that you need to slog. And both 4 and 5 in this squad are excellent players of spin.
Yeah.
And that to me, especially in Indian conditions, you want those two batters who are in your middle order to be really good players and quality players of spin. And they can tackle that. And they're good players of fast bowling. And Rahul's strike rate goes up as he starts playing longer and deeper into that 50th over.
A digital wealth, it moves on very quickly. But we were having this exact discussion around Shreyas Iyer just a few weeks ago, weren't we?
Yeah.
Well, hello, why you back a player like Shreyas Iyer? For those reasons, through the middle with spin, Rahul through the middle with spin, just magical players. And they're going to come up against someone in the final that's going to have decent semi-final and then hopefully final, that's going to have some decent off-pace bowlers. So they're just like a real banker. The other thing, how many times have India now chased?
They've now gone
and
4 games in a row batting first,
batting
and then the first 5 would have been
yes. So this was obviously a strategy today, and I think it's a very high possibility that if they're winning the toss, they're going to set totals from this point on, because they can realise with that batting lineup that they can blow a side away and post a huge total like they have done tonight. But if they don't, and my point is it might happen as well, what they've got is the versatility of when and how they use those gears that you're alluding to. So they can set their program according to if it's 250, they go, okay, let's just dial back the risk here. If it's 400, then it's out and out assault, and they've also got that power as well.
Yeah.
So in blend, I think South Africa probably got a bigger power hitting side, but in blend about the cricket versatility, the common sense approach, the match awareness and match sense, they're bang on the money.
It's a vending machine with a lot more options.
It is.
According to the situation, because I'm trying to think of 4 and 5 now. This was very unique. We've spoken a lot of the top order of Kohli and Rohit, and then of India's bowlers. 4 and 5 together have effectively put this game to bed. So let's talk about the 3 other semi-finalist teams. You've got Smith and Labuschagne now at 4 and 5 there, or Smith and Stoinis. New Zealand have Mitchell and Tom Latham stroke Glenn Phillips. South Africa have Markram and Klaassen. But we've seen the difference batting first, batting second. Now you put Shreyas and Rahul in there. That's probably your tournament's best 4 and 5 for this World Cup?
Yes, I think so, because even batting first and chasing, yes, Shreyas hasn't had the opportunity to chase down scores. I mean, he did get those, I think, 30 against New Zealand in that Dharamshala game where he got out. But otherwise, he hasn't had too much opportunities chasing and scoring runs. But, yeah, if you look at 4 and 5, in terms of dominating attacks and in terms of not just getting that 30-40s, but going deeper, I think these two have certainly stamped their authority. I mean, other than them, Hayden, Markram and Klaassen certainly stand apart in terms of the power hitting ability and what they have done for their team. Smith and Labuschagne, you won't count them in the same vein as they can take that
with them, you're almost thinking, I hope one of them gets out so Maxwell comes in the last 7-8, whereas here they don't really waste their time at the deep.
They're at best run a ball. They're not 120, 130, but nor is Virat Kohli. My point has always been, can you afford to play both of those individuals in the same side? But we move on. When you think about who New Zealand and how they're going to go about trying to attack their middle order, have they got the pace to attack the one Achilles heel that we've identified and were talking about before his run of form in Shreyas Iyer? Can they get the ball up into what they call the boardroom? Can they get him up in that area and try and get him off balance and off guard? I think probably not. But South Africa and Australia definitely can. Sure. So they'll, from a bowling attack point of view, they'll target those middle overs, and their fast men might just give Shreyas Iyer a bit of a run for their money. I'm
going to bank the Shreyas Iyer short ball chat perhaps for another day.
Yeah.
You don't want him coming out again, ready to play some short balls with the press. This was a wonderful innings from Iyer, a thoroughly deserved 100, and it almost caps off this remarkable return after a lengthy layoff, Anil. It's fair to say there were questions on Shreyas Iyer's consistency, He's the kind of player where two close scores and you'll again start thinking, right, can we get someone else in? India have tried the likes of Rishabh Pant. You've had Surya sitting on the bench previously. If Hardik was fit, we were thinking maybe Hardik should come in for Shreyas. But something about Shreyas, just he has put himself in a different league as an ODI batter.
Of course, I think this was his 14th or 15th above 50 score in a very short span. And he's played some match-winning knocks under pressure, even at the test level. It goes to show his temperament and also his ability to soak pressure, irrespective of what people say. Yes, everyone has something to work on. I mean, in terms of their batting, somebody has to work on their short ball bowling, somebody has to work on their spin, somebody has to work on whatever. Everyone has to work on their batting skills. But yet he's come in and showed what he's capable of. Even when we spoke during that match prior to that Wankhede game against Sri Lanka, I mean, there were talks that, okay, in case Shreyas doesn't score here, what happens when Hardik comes back? I mean, we kept talking about it. But he got a 80 there, and then he followed it up with another 70 and 100. So, I mean, it goes to show that he's mentally strong. It's not easy to come back from a long layoff and straight into the World Cup. He didn't even play the Asia Cup.
And just like to remind the folks at home as well that, look, guys, if you've got a strike rate of over 100, which Shreyas does in the short time, and he's got a decent average as well, and it's risk. I mean, if you were to say to Shreyas Iyer, look, I want you to play Virat Kohli's role, then I think you'd probably put 15 on his average. He'd become a more consistent player. But is that the role that India want? No way. They want to hand oppositions a good smacking in the middle stages of the game. A good smacking. But all their options, like if it's Zampa, for example, or Shumpsy, he's got the game that covers that, and he does so at a really good clip. So he's your perfect impact player, through those middle phases.
Excellent from Shreyas Iyer, a career best 128. We can certainly shelve all the chat of his place in the team. He's going nowhere. KL Rahul, quick word on him as well. It's not easy for an opening batter in India especially, to be told bat at 5, because at the end of your career, that's probably 1,500 taken away from you. But it's nice when KL Rahul's got this one.
I think when the World Cup comes, I think if your name is Rahul, you keep wickets and then bat 5. So the coach, Rahul Dravid, did that in 2003 and was successful. And KL Rahul has done that, for India again. He's kept really well behind the stumps. I mean, fantastic. I mean, that was one area where you expected Rahul to sort of improve. We always knew the ability that he had in front of the stumps, but behind the stumps, there's a major tournament. You don't want a stopgap keeper to be keeping, but he's kept brilliantly in this World Cup, and he's shown the kind of form that, and it's not easy coming in at 5 and scoring hundreds. He had that opportunity today and he took it, and he's a brilliant player.
I mean, this is another very important tick, because after that 97 against Australia, Rahul's had 6 innings where he's got a high score of 39. Obviously, he's not had much time.
No.
But you suddenly, if you're KL Rahul, you're thinking, right, my best game was a month plus back. This is another important box tick. If Rahul has to bat 20 overs in a semi-final, he's done it just a few days back.
And it's not like he's just poached on the minnows. What I mean by that is, some players, they get to World Cups and they really dine out. But because of his pedigree of cricket, his ability to be able to play all formats of the game, there's not an obvious weakness that you see in any part of KL's game, which means when it comes to the big boys, and they're all in it now, everyone's qualified, the big boys have arrived in this tournament, and and someone like KL Rahul will take all of every opposition on. So for me, that's the strength of the side. Another impact player. Bang. Oh, now we've got to get through KL Rahul. Oh.
Now let's talk about the Dutch, shall we? And I don't know if it's a silly question, but my thought was they actually didn't bowl too badly, and they've conceded 410. They did what they could. Assessment?
I mean, it's not easy bowling at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. I mean, it's a small boundary, and then the wicket was on the slower side, and when you bowl slightly shorter, it sits up, and you're bowling at really world-class batters who are in top form. You will cash it. And yeah, I mean, they didn't bowl really badly, but it was not easy for the bowlers to come in. And
I think their slower balls tended to be a bit too wide. You know, so Shreyas could basically, and KL could get that width and just slap through the line of the ball downtown. Again, I don't know, you don't see a lot of under pressure Yorkers. You know, I suppose we're old and tired cricketers. You just think, oh, well, any danger you bowl a Yorker. I mean, if you don't, back of a length, slower balls wide. I mean, these are all such easy pickings because these guys today with their big bats, they load up and they're not afraid to take on any of the fielders. You know, so again, that Yorker, I'd be very interested to see statistically how many, you know, of those were bowled in that innings. I can't remember too many.
Can't question them for their commitment in the field, though. They put in quite a shift in the field, the Netherlands, don't they? Yeah.
They've had to, because they're going around the park.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, absolutely. There's no doubt, you know, that this Netherlands side has fought, as to of Afghanistan. But they're outclassed, and we predicted it, albeit very slim in the direction of the runs that we chose.
Right. It is on expected lines. India's bowling is in the kind of form they've blown away more formidable opposition in this tournament already, and this is a massive score. But let's just see what you'd like to see, perhaps keeping the semi-final in mind. I think Kuldeep Yadav has not had a lot of bowling time in the last few games. Is that something that could be on Rohit Sharma's mind? Like, you know, that's something I want Kuldeep to perhaps come in the game early.
yes, I would like to see him bowl just after the power play, come in ahead of Ravindra Jadeja. So yes, I would like to see Kuldeep get at least 5-6 overs under his belt before he comes and bowls at Wankhede, because Wankhede can be difficult for a spinner, and against New Zealand, we know New Zealand certainly went after Kuldeep in Dharamshala, so it's important that he gets a few overs under his belt. Yeah, ideally, I think that's what Rohit will look to do as well.
You see the spinners having a role to play. The surface is slower than we expected.
It is slightly slower, we could see that. There was a little bit of turn initially, because probably it was a bit damp, but otherwise it's a good wicket.
I'm going to give you the tough job. Being in the Dutch dugout right now, 400 plus, this bowling attack coming up. Have a chat with them on, come on guys, this is what I want to see. This game, you're going to go down fighting. This is what I'd like to see. So what's that chat?
Yeah, to me it's not necessarily to take on Jasprit Bumrah. I think, you know, a ball that's sort of swinging away from, they're all right-handers, top 8 are right-handers, swinging away from the right hand is dangerous. So just let him be for a little bit. But I would definitely look to take on Mohammad Shami. If I was in that sort of dressing room, I'd say, look, we know that he's going to bowl hard length. He bowls 2 different types of spells. Yeah. Initially, almost to the opposite plan at a normal swing bowler bowls, he bowls 8-metre lengths. You know, so it means that he's got that predictability. You'd think that he's going to go up and try and nick someone off, but he doesn't. So that would give me the impression that you'd tell the boys, look, you've got to go at him. You've got to look to actually advance at him. I mean, he's got pace, but he's not that rapid. And his temperament you need to challenge as well, because he bowls 66% dot balls throughout his ODI career. So you can't just sit on him, because that's what he's loving. And then he comes back in his second spell, and then he starts to actually go fuller when you're under pressure. You know, so you've got to reverse the psychology of a batting performance when you're chasing something big. Go hard, go early. Ahmed Siraj, I think, is vulnerable as well, because he can be a bit both sides of the wicket, and of course he's hungry for wickets. That's why he takes so many wickets in the power play, because he's a bowler that wants to take wickets, and so that gives you opportunities to score. So you can just basically be instinctive against him, but be proactive definitely against Mohammad Shami, and leave the hell alone Bumrah.
Good luck to the Netherlands, but it'll be their last 50 overs in the tournament. Let's hope they at least continue to put in the kind of performances that we've come to expect now from Scott Edwards' side. Prediction? Easy win this for India?
Yeah, easy win.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to get belted, Netherlands, definitely.
All right, Matthew Hayden, Anil Kumble, we will pick up the conversation at the end of this game when the league stage would have been completed. So only the semi-finals then remain, but let's keep an eye out for one last outing for India's bowlers before that much anticipated semi against New Zealand. Join us for post-match analysis on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Matchday, powered by Qatar Airways. Do download the mobile app if you haven't already. It'll give you exhaustive analysis, news, etc. from the world of cricket, and we have to look forward now to things happening beyond the World Cup, so the app will have you covered. We'll see you at the end of the game.
Stunning looks, then swift,